people of Earth. This is DanLockhart of the Honda Valkyrie DanLockhart YouTube channel, and today is the 9th day of cruising, and then we'll be heading back to Colorado the day after tomorrow. And I still have been looking for that sub, have not found it out there, but I did find some more little trinkets for me to take back home with me. This set's going to keep me very warm in the wintertime across the Butte, and I really like it a lot. But let's take a look where we're at right now. So I can get this turned around here. And take a look at this. Very beautiful. The mountains here are spectacular. And the ocean's been very calm today. Before it was smooth like glass, a little bit of waves now. So we're cruising between Prince Rupert Sound and Victoria, Columbia. British Columbia, I should say. Columbia, that'd be a whole nother cruise, wouldn't it? But, yeah, British Columbia. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. Outstanding. Alright, well, that's it. Right now, I just wanted to give you an update on the lack of visibility to the Russian submarines. Yeah. See, I've not seen one. I know they're there. Alright, we'll talk to you later on. Have a good one. Victoria is the capital city of the Canadian province of British Columbia, on the southern tip of Vancouver Island off Canada's Pacific coast. That's the first time I ever saw a logging camp where they actually had logs down in the water. The city has a population of 91,867, and the Greater Victoria area has a population of 397,237. The city of Victoria is the 7th most densely populated city in Canada, with 4,406 inhabitants per square kilometers, or 11,410 square miles.
It is 3 feet 6 inches wide at its narrowest. It named the Guinness Book of World Records as such. That is an actual street with actual street numbers. Fantan was a gambling game as you people play. And Little Alley also made the movie, you might remember. Blood on a Wire, Mel Gibson and Goldie Hawn. They were racing motorcycles through that street. Actually had to chop the handlebars of the motorcycle to fit through the doorway. Another one of these alleys on the right hand side, known as Dragon Alley. This one's not quite as narrow. This one kind of meanders between the buildings, and it was designed to get you lost. So there was a purpose to all these alleys, and once upon a time there was quite a few of them that crisscrossed Chinatown. You see, back in the day, Chinatown was known as the Forbidden City. Well, that's because a lot of fun happened here. Chinatown was famous for opium manufacturing and gambling halls. As you can see, James Bay is a very busy little spot. We got ferry ships that come in from the United States that dock here. We got whale watching tours, sightseeing tours starting here. We got water taxis crisscrossing all day long. On top of all that, this is also Canada's 10th busiest airport. Nearly 100 seaplanes will take off and land from this bay every single day. As you get to the top of the harbor, 3 buildings I would like to talk about. First, towards the right-hand side, you got that building that looks like a Greek temple. That was a steamship terminal. And then you have the building with a giant green copper roof. In hotels owned by a company called Canadian Pacific. These folks built a railway that terminated in Vancouver on the mainland, and they brought steamships across their island. But they want to make sure that their hotel was the first thing that people saw coming into the harbor. That's why she's front and center. Where you see the Empress on the balcony, whenever the Queen came to visit, she would have made an appearance on that balcony. That was his first ever architectural design in his life. He's very talented. On right hand side, this is the Royal British Museum. Smithsonian rated this museum as the third best anthropological museum in North America. They have excellent exhibits underneath on the coast. As you go past here, you can see some beautiful totem poles in the windows on the right hand side. Those are hundreds of years old. Whereas the totem poles in Thunderbird Park, these are reproduction totem poles that were carved in the 1950s. There's a number of words that you've heard that are actually native words. Salmon is a native word, so its current royal patron is the Duke of York. And coming up on the left-hand side, you'll see a beautiful view of Casper Bay. Sightings since the Europeans have arrived as well. Remember, these homes have also been into publications like Architectural Digest magazine and such. Because after all, what's the point of building something so... On the right hand side here, this is one of my favorite houses in this entire neighborhood. I love this lovely French country style. Isn't that pretty? Yeah, all these cars you see parked along here, these are all contractors. So you may see a bit of this house on the left-hand side through the bushes and trees. This is the Riffington Manor. And Riffington Manor was the original show home to this neighborhood. So you can see a little bit of that manor-style house through the trees there. She's sitting on 2 acres of waterfront, and it's a historic house. I believe last time it came up for sale was in the 1980s, and it was going for somewhere around the neighborhood of $5 million back in the 80s. So it's meant to left like feel the sense of loss, right? So we got. So within all this neighborhood, there's only one genuine vacant lot remaining. And this vacant lot is coming up on the left-hand side here. So this lot on the left here belongs to the house on the right. They wanted to maintain their view. Why? Because they can. Simple as that. So you'll see the last gates of the uplands coming up here. As you cross these gates, the neighborhood changes quite a bit. We got utilities back above ground. We got overhead lines, and the property is a lot smaller. Homes are much more modest. Still a really charming little neighborhood. We're in the district of Oak Bay. Now, Oak Bay was originally started as a retirement community for British naval officers and British civil servants. A number of homes around here have very traditional English architectural elements to them, like peaked rooftops, arched doorways, leaded glass windows, with those charming little Tudor-style homes. They very much resemble a little English village indeed. This yellow house right here is another one of my favorites. It looks like it should be in a children's storybook. Isn't that charming? So I mentioned that these neighborhoods started to also favorite many celebrities that come through town. Arnold Schwarzenegger is a member here. Other members over the years include people like Bing Crosby and Bob Hope. In fact, this was Bob Hope's favorite golf course in his lifetime. They like to come up here to do salmon fishing, and they always stopped off in Victoria to play around on golf on this course. Easy to see why he would love it here. Towards the left-hand side, the little islet is known as Trial Islet. And the lighthouse out there is one of the last lighthouses on the west coast that has not been automated. This lighthouse keeper out here is still a very busy man. He often rescues wayward sailors or fatigued kayakers. Recently, he also started offering courses to supplement his income. Well, you see, he offers courses to newlywed husbands in the essential skills of light housekeeping. I know, it's a terrible joke. Little island is named Trial Island, where when ships get repaired at Esquimalt shipbuilding yards, when they come up for sea trials, this island marks their turnaround point. The next bay that you'll see ahead of us is called McNeil Bay, and it's typical of the rocky kinds of bays you find on the west coast of Vancouver Island. Why they want to be out here? First of all, they want to establish their naval base here. There's a very deep, naturally sheltered harbor here called Esquimalt, and it turns out it's a perfect place for a couple dozen naval vessels. It's very strategic, establishing the British Navy here, as back in the day Britain ruled the seas and all. Once they were established here, they could also start trading out their primary purpose. Just about every architectural style is represented around here. We've got some, of course, West Coast modern. We've got a nice little Bavarian house on the right-hand side. Some traditional cottage-style homes. We have Art Deco houses on top of the hill here as well. As we rumble our way to the top of this ridge, we're going to reach the highest point in our tour. Yes, folks, my jokes only get worse from here on, so be forewarned. Beautiful views of the Olympic Mountains and straight up on the Fuca. And those hills you see in the distance on the far left, those are called the Souk Hills. And where those hills meet the water, that'll be the southernmost point of Vancouver Island. Beyond that, our next stop is Japan. This next bay is known as Ross Bay. It was named after the first female landowner in the district here. Her name was Isabella Ross. Her husband came here to help build the Hudson's Bay trading fort, but he died shortly after arriving. After the death of her husband, most people expected Isabella to just pack her bags. Oh no, she was much tougher than that. She decided to make it go in this pioneer town, and she farmed the land behind the bay here with 3 of her sons. And when she passed away, her family gave a portion of this land to the city, and it was turned to Ross Bay Cemetery. Many of the founding fathers of Victoria buried here, such as James Douglas. Almost perpetually windy here. No fresh water was found nearby either, so their fort was built further inland. Today we often see Victorians out here flying kites, or parasailing off these cliffs, or kite surfing off these waters. We also like to go out here in the evenings to watch the sunsets. After dark, the teenagers like to come here. They say they're watching the submarine races. Not sure what that's all about. Great little seaside walkway along here as well. Leads back to our downtown, around the inner harbor, all the way up to Esquimalt. Altogether, the walkway is about 10 miles in length. And this section of it here is known as an off-leash area. So we often see dogs and the occasional husband running off-leash. So I'm sure many of you are curious about our real estate market. Well, all these homes you see on the right hand side here facing the water, you'd be hard pressed to find one of these for less than $2 million. Is there any freestanding total pole at 127 feet 6 inches. There are toll poles that are taller than this one, but they're all supported by guide wires. This one's only supported at its very base. The toll pole is carved $2 million. Be opportunistic as well. I met some eagles up close recently at a bird sanctuary. They're fascinating. They weigh about 9 pounds, and they have a 6-foot wingspan, and their lifting capacity is somewhere between 12 to 14 pounds. So they're quite remarkable creatures. The talons are the size of my fingers, and they're very smart. Up in town. town, but today we started calling them politicians. Brown. And that's her standing out front, namesake of our city. That little golden statue standing way up on top of the building, folks? Well, that is Wayne Gretzky holding up his hockey stick. No, it's not. It's George Vancouver, namesake of our island. Original plans were to put Queen Victoria on top of that building, but some folks said that wouldn't be proper. That would be like looking over her skirt. So they put our front instead. That's a true story, folks. That conversation actually took place. So I'm going to stop here and continue.
Depending on the classification used, Victoria either has a warm summer Mediterranean or oceanic climate, with fresh, dry, sunny summers and cool, cloudy, rainy winters. Victoria is farther north than many cold winter cities such as Ottawa, Quebec City, and Minneapolis. However, westerly winds and the Pacific Ocean currents keep Victoria's winter temperatures substantially higher, with an average January temperature of 5 Celsius or 41 degrees Fahrenheit and 5.8 Celsius or 42.4 degrees Fahrenheit, compared to Ottawa, the nation's capital, with minus 10 Celsius or 14 degrees Fahrenheit. (1999) is the only calendar year on record without a single occurrence of frost. During this time, the city went 718 days without freezing, starting on December 23, 1998, and ending on December 10, 2000. The summer months are also relatively mild, with an average high temperature of 20 degrees Celsius or 68 degrees Fahrenheit, with a low of 11 degrees Celsius or 52 degrees Fahrenheit, although inland areas often experience warmer daytime temperature highs. You thought I was kidding about the Russian submarines, but here it is. We finally found it. We're looking in the wrong place. We're looking in the Pacific Ocean and Alaska, British Columbia, and there it was, Long Beach, California. All in all, we had a great time on this cruise. Oceana did a really nice job. The ship was beautiful. Every port city that we came into was absolutely stunning. And I'd highly recommend, if you get a chance to do something like this, do it. It's well worth your time, and it'll be a lifetime of memories. If you've gotten this far in my video, I appreciate you. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.